Hello there everybody, Savant92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Higurashi Matsuribayashi, or Higurashi Kai because I got the title wrong. So, first things first, I went ahead and lowered the message speed because yes, it did get a little too fast in that last episode, so don't worry, I fixed it. Also, I certainly got some very positive comments about the Sobanyu thumbnail, so yes, we've also got the darker version off to the right there. So I hope you guys enjoy this Let's Play as two different Sabanyus stare at you into your soul as we go through the final arc of Higurashi. On the other hand, though, I finally got a little bit of detail concerning Mio's past. And my fucking god, that has messed all levels of hell up. Also, the whole mysterious save file thing. I think it is actually because I downloaded this from a different site that I normally get it at. So that might have been the problem. I didn't get it from the usual site that I got it, and I might explain why there is even a saves file. Oh yeah, also, no goddamn tips! Am I loud enough for you? Oh jeez. No. Okay, this is the banquet section. Can you hear me? One more speech and then we'll move on to a toast. Are you ready? This is the back end. We're ready. We can't hear anything from inside, so please give us a cue when the speech is finishing up. 10 bottles per table, okay? Make sure you serve your table smoothly. Young waiters wearing bow ties got bottles of beer ready for a toast. Or, I'm sorry, get bottles of beer ready for a toast. There's a difference. They wait for the cue to serve while listening through the intercom. At a usual party, they can put bottles of beer on a table ahead of time. But if there is a lecture before this party, then they can't. Guests don't mind sushi going dry due to a long speech. But they don't like seeing their tables get wet with the condensation from the beer bottles. And more than anything, they sure don't want to drink warm beer. That's why beer has to be served right before a toast. However, there's always a speech before a toast, and usually a long one. Especially at a big party like this one, so there are lots of guests to give speeches, so it's extremely difficult to know when to serve. For that reason, the bottles end up sitting outside by the banquet room. And people, oh god, I did not mean to do that. In case you guys can't tell, I might need to get a new mouse, because it's not working as well as it used to. For that reason, the bottles end up sitting outside by the banquet room, and people end up drinking warm beer anyway. There are several dozen tables with white tablecloths on them in the banquet room. Approximately 8 people are sitting at each table, so there are at least a few hundred people there. The banquet room is filled with excitement. There are many plates with different kinds of food on each table. A sushi platter, a sashimi platter, a fruits platter. Also, along the wall, there are cooks ready to serve fresh sashimi. All the guests appear to be well-mannered gentlemen, and obviously there are notable people from different fields. The huge and beautiful chandelier above them clearly indicates that this hotel holds a status good enough for these famous people. An elderly gentleman is giving a long speech on the stage before making a toast. Usually, people don't like such long speeches, especially if it's before a toast. But the guests are actually excited with this speech. Maybe the word excited isn't suitable. Maybe it should be described as an upsurge in a strange way. Which country would actually teach not to show respect towards their own flag? There are none! It's happening only in Japan. That's right! They say that to be forced to show respect toward your country's flag and national anthem is the same as having morals forced onto you. Who are they kidding? Come on! To love your national flag and national anthem is a natural feeling. To know ourselves, to know our culture, to understand the history and our country itself. Those are the things that make you realize that you are a Japanese citizen, to make you understand your part as a citizen of this country. And the natural feeling you get from that is love towards your country. Is this guy related to the Hayabaras at any point? However, those anti-Japanese teachers claim that it is the same as brainwashing people in militarism. Actually, holy shit, this might actually be... No, I can't say that because that's a spoiler. They are crazy. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and use that voice I used for the guy. No, that's for Oishi in this. Fuck it! What are those people doing anyway? They are teaching our children to be the anti-Japanese, and they are the ones brainwashing them with self-destructive education. They are teaching our children that Japan is a shameful country, and they should be ashamed of being Japanese. Oh god, Japan is not shameful, they gave us anime. Forget and deny your country. That's what they are teaching them. Those innocent children listen and believe such nonsense. Of course they do. They go to school to learn things, right? If their teachers teach them that, of course the children believe that. That's totally contemptible. We must do something about this country's education now, no matter what it takes. The sound of applause fills the banquet room. Also, several people's ears are bleeding from that god-awful voice that the old man had spoke with. All the gentlemen agree and express that they feel the same way by cheering him on, even though their eardrums have been thoroughly ruptured. Then one gentleman wearing a cloth sash comes onto the stage. A big round of applause welcomes him. A popular theme song comes on as he shows up, but the loud applause erases it. Shut up, I'm trying to listen to Pop Team Epic's opening theme. What is wrong with you people? His sash says he is a candidate for prefectural governor. Let me introduce you to a patriot. Coon! He has been working as a room monitor for the previous governor and supported this prefectural government for many years. Since the previous governor has decided to retire, he was appointed as the next governor. Unfortunately, we have those anti-Japanese teachers in our prefecture. They say it is freedom of education, freedom of morality, but what they are teaching is in fact anti-Japanese. They don't teach the correct history. They teach our children that everything was Japan's fault. They don't even mention the true meaning of the Greater East Asia prosperity sphere. The fuck? Or all the people who fought to save Asian people from the control of the white people. Fuck white people. They don't even talk about how many Asian countries were actually colonies of the white people before Japan stood up for our freedom during the war. Our country has recovered amazingly after the war, yet our children don't know any of that because those teachers don't teach them. How sad. I can't stand the fact that those anti-Japanese teachers are actually teaching our children along with the teachers who take teaching seriously. Have I said teaching enough? They are insulting our schools. I will become a governor and get rid of those teachers. I almost said teenagers and it probably would have fit. I will straighten out our education and make sure our children will grow up to be decent young people who can carry on Japan's future. Hey, Blank-kun announces his candidacy for the next year's prefectural governorship. I appreciate your support for him.
I promise, I will straighten out Japan's education. Thank you for your support.
Again, the banquet room is filled with applause. The man is getting a standing ovation. I need to explain a bit about this banquet before you misunderstand. This isn't the conference of a political association or a lecture by a candidate. This is only a conference for an organization of alumni. Okay. Everyone is familiar with organizations of alumni. Elementary school, junior high school, and college. Once you graduate, you're supposed to belong to an organization of alumni. Really? I didn't get the memo. You receive invitations for reunions and enjoy talking about the good old days. No, I've never been invited to a reunion. Mostly because I'm pretty sure my whole class hated me. However, there are many different types of such organizations. Some are simple organizations, and some are united with much tighter bonds. Once an organization becomes united with tighter bonds, it's no longer a simple organization of alumni. Rather, it's an academic clique. In Japan, in Japanese, in Japanese society, there's a tradition for graduates to find tighter bonds that go beyond the organization level, specifically plus ultra. Also, the more superior an alma mater... What? Alma mater. The tighter the bonds they forge. The Imperial University, one of the best universities, is famous for its graduates' tight bonds. Why do superior people like to bond? It may be because they take pride in being superior. But more than that, having connections is the biggest reason of all. All the Imperial University graduates are elites in their field. They are likely to succeed and become important people. That's where the tight bonds of the academic clique come in. In fact, even today, the Imperial University graduates maintain their tight academic clique, and they have a huge influence in different fields. They interact with other universities as well, so the graduates' bonds are extremely tight, even today. Anyway, the Imperial University usually means Tokyo University, but sometimes it means all 7 major universities in Japan. They are located in Tokyo, Kyoto, Tohoku, Kyushu, Hokkaido, Osaka, and Nagoya. They are all great schools. There is an organization of alumni that includes all of those 7 universities. The elderly gentlemen in this banquet room, gentlemen in this banquet room, are each from one of those organizations. Okay. However, not all of the graduates can get into this banquet automatically. To become a member, one needs a recommendation from another member. One has to contribute to the society, and also one's status has to qualify. In other words, only the selected can join this organization. Okay, so if you're like valedictorian, you'd have a higher chance. Therefore, all the members are important people from different fields, and obviously the power of this organization is of a political nature. Well, yeah. But there's one more very important criterion one has to meet to join. That is patriotism. As a result, this organization has become extremely nationalistic. Uh-oh. Up on the stage, the candidate for the prefectural governorship is still talking passionately. Takano is among those elderly gentlemen. Of course! Takano seems to be used to this kind of conference, and doesn't seem to be surprised about anything. But at the same time, she looks rather fed up. Since she is here, she must be one of the members. That means she has a very high academic background. And not only that, she has contributed to the society as much as the elderly gentleman. However, her academic background was the only qualification she has met to join. She was able to join as a special case through different connections. She doesn't have prejudiced ideas like the other members. So why is she here today? She's going to kill them all! I don't know, I don't know. Actually, that'd be terrifying if that was the case. That's probably because of the same reason as the man giving speech on the stage. The man on the stage actually doesn't have prejudiced ideas, just like Takano. He only prepared a speech that he knew the guests would like. He was catering to the masses, or rather just catering to those around him. Politicians only want votes. Fucking Each and every person has a vote, but appealing to each one of them takes too long. So the best way is to appeal to organizations with a unified idea and a unified will. That or election interference. That's always a possibility. In other words, this man is giving this speech so he can get support from those powerful people. By the way, I'm simply joking. I'm not political in any way. The elderly gentlemen in this banquet room will do their best to support him since he shares their ideals. I just felt the need to kind of explain that was a joke. Please don't get mad at me for simply telling a joke. They offer many different kinds of expediency, support, and assistance. At an outrageous level, I might add. If today's event goes on like this organization will decide to officially support him. They'll probably give him plenty of financial aid. You know, there is a way to win them over. A shit ton of cheese. They'll assist him in different ways as well. Of course, the man on the stage won't be the only one gaining here. When he wins the election and becomes a governor next year, the organization will welcome the governor as a new member and gain even more political power. Okay, so are we actually seeing the formation of the group that Takano kind of has like control over? The, what are they called? The Wild Hounds? The Mountain Hounds! God damn it, I'm an idiot. Or maybe some sort of connections to that. Maybe? I don't know. And eventually the organization will become so powerful that nobody can ignore it. You, as the readers, must be thinking that this is no longer an organization of alumni, right? Is Ryokishi talking to me? You're right. Oh god, he is! At this level, they should be called an association. If they weren't so open about their activities, then this could be called a secret association. Some of you may even think that such a suspicious organization shouldn't exist in Japan. But this is real. There are many groups such as this in our society today. They even influence our government by using their political power. They are academic cliques. Study groups of different parties in different fields, industrial groups, consultative bodies, communions, community service groups, and so forth. Also, there are right wings and left wings, the hawk side and the dove side. I won't go into the details of each organization. Okay, but they appear in newspapers quite often. In Japan, the words to describe such groups are used generally. Words like secret association may make you think of a suspicious organization with people wearing hoods. Oh my god. Yes. But that's a misunderstanding. Damn it! I was hoping if I could join one I can get my own little hoodie. In the United States, there are far more groups like these, and they are so powerful that they can't be ignored. Therefore, they don't even use the word like association. Sometimes, people say that such groups have more power than the White House, and they are called the shadow government. Even in Japan, we had our own shadow government, called the financial clique before the war. Wait, really? After we lost the war, it was destroyed by the GHQ, and it has been over 40 years since that happened. Oh. There's no guarantee that a new shadow government hasn't been born, since we are so good at using connections to make arrangements. Takano Mio is, in fact, at a conference of such a shadow government. Oh, okay. It may appear to be a guest house at a huge golf course. There are no golfers in sight, but by appearances, that must be it. But that's wrong. This isn't a golf course. It is a huge backyard. The guest house is in fact a very stylish mansion. Normal people would be surprised to learn that this is a private residence. Jesus. Look at the glorious ashtray. The interior is as lavish as the exterior. There are beautiful carpets, expensive-looking decorations on the wall, and expensive-looking bottles of alcohol on the shelves. That's the kind of room Takano is in. There's a knock and an old man in a wheelchair and a young woman who's pushing the wheelchair come in. Oh yeah? As Takano stands up to bow, the old man stops her with his right hand. Oh, no. Okay, I'm slightly dying. Oh, no, you don't need to stand up. Long time no see. I've been telling you to come see me any time, but you never come. It's great to see you, Koizumi-sensei. Koizumi? The old man sits down on a sofa with the assistance from the woman. He is very old. His face is wrinkly and he can hardly do anything on his own. Ooh. However, he is still very powerful and influential. Oh boy. You haven't changed a bit, have you? I see lipstick on your neck. Ah, is that right? Oh god, I suddenly turned into Roshi there for a second. Oh my, how embarrassing. There's no lipstick on his neck. The woman who was helping him with his wheelchair is too beautiful to be a helper, so she suspected something. Takano guessed right. Although he's so old he could die even tomorrow, he wants to stay sexually active until the very end.
My god, he literally wants to go out with a bang.
That was terrible.
Even the Grim Reaper would think that's just absurd. My god, seriously, old man, you are going to die. Why are you And there goes another heart attack. Okay, I'm gonna write this guy off. Okay, may as well go pay the visit to the next guy.
Mio-chan, you become quite beautiful yourself. You're not a little girl anymore, huh? Oh, stop it. If you really think that way, why'd you try to touch my bottom, huh?
God damn it happened again.
What have you got to lose from having an old guy like me touch your butt? I'm sure you have plenty of chance to touch a softer butt, don't you? Oh my god. Takano and the old man enjoy their tasteless conversation. My god. Obviously, they've known each other for a long time, and they are very close. The young woman comes in to serve tea. After she leaves, the old man starts to speak. So anyway, I got the good stuff. It's inside the pillow. Specifically, do not let the cops see it. Oh, wait, what? You're still doing that? Anyway, I'm so proud of you, Mio-chan. I'm sure your grandfather in heaven is proud of you, too. I hope so. But I'm not even close to my grandfather's great work. Takano-kun wasn't lucky in many different ways. The era he lived in... If he lived in a different era, I'm sure he would have finished his research. But he lived in that era, and ironically, that was why he noticed the existence of the Hinamizawa syndrome. The world is in the nuclear era. The United States and Russia are staring at each other with mounds of nuclear weapons at their backs. Whoever has more nuclear weapons gets the right to speak. But Japan has abandoned nuclear weapons because of the 3 non-nuclear principles. A country without nuclear weapons is worthless. How sad. If only we could just do away with nuclear weapons and just be rid of them all. In the mid-Showa era, although the East and the West were under extreme tension, they ended up having a Cold War, which was like a fake peace because of the nuclear weapons. Blue-balled for 40 years. All the major countries with nuclear weapons became permanent members of the United Nations. To increase the advantage of their nuclear weapons, those countries regulated the world with treaties and stopped all the anti-nuclear countries, including Japan, from rising up. For Japan to become a nation that can compete with the world, it must find nuclear arms or something that's as powerful. Some people actually thought that. Realistically, Japan will never arm itself with nuclear weapons. I know. The citizens won't accept it. Even if the government ignored the citizens' opinion and armed itself with nuclear weapons, it wouldn't work. By abandoning nuclear arms, Japan gained the deterrent power of the United States. Though, some people actually thought the only way for Japan to become equal to the US is to get nuclear arms. But realistically, it's impossible. Even if Japan armed itself with nuclear weapons, that wouldn't automatically let Japan join the great powers. Takano and the old man discussed the balance of the nuclear weapons in the world. The sound from the cuckoo clock reminds them to go back to the main subject. The old man points to the attaché case that has been sitting next to Takano. Attaché, whatever. Takano nods once, opens it up, and takes the contents out. Oh, you got the good crack! No, goddammit, this is not crack. That'll be next Tuesday. There are brand new bills packed in it. How much is actually in there? A bunch of brand new million-yen bills is 1 centimeter, so there must be at least enough to make about 8 digits. There are also 2 more attaché cases by her side. That's a lot of moolah. But neither Takano nor the old man are surprised at all. Takano closes the attaché case and bows. Thank you very much, Sensei. I'll never forget about this. Money should be handled by younger people. I can't take it. You know what? I can't take it. Oh god, I'm not going to do the Roshi. I can't take it to heaven with me. I hope this money will help you. Also, mostly because I don't have the Roshi down completely. Use this wisely. Of course I will. I'll use this money only to make my grandfather's dream come true. I envy Takano-kun. What a wonderful grandchild he has. I'm sure he's bragging about you up there. I haven't done anything yet. When I complete my grandfather's research, then I'll have earned praise. I'm so envious. My boys are no good. They are only interested in making money. It's more important how the money is spent. How you contribute to the country is what's most important. That's how you repay your own country, you know. Oh? So are you saying that treating all those lovers so lavishly is also a repayment to your country? Oh, of course! When they show up, when they shop, the country makes money. Money goes around, you see. However, those lovers will buy some foreign goods. Things may not work as this old man thinks. Takano chuckles. But the money I give to those women and the money I give you are completely different. I know that very well. You've worked very hard. You kept the trust and support from so many people. I'm telling you this for the first time, but Haruyama-kun and Mochizuki-kun both weren't sure about you because of your young age at first. That's why I acknowledge your effort, and that's why I'm giving you this money. Yes. Also, for me to give you this money means I recognize you as the official successor to Takano-kun's research. Thank you very much. Thank you for believing in me. I truly appreciate it. Oh, don't mention it. This research is Takano-kun's, and yours also. He wouldn't want anyone else to take over. So, thanks to all of your efforts, I didn't have much to convince the other Odes people that much. To complete my grandfather's research is the least I can do for him. I won't hold myself back for anything. Takano smiles as she remembers everything she had to go through to get to this point. To all the old men in front of Takano, she is of their grandchildren's generation, maybe even younger. Takano had to go through a lot to gain the trust from these people, who are from a different generation. What she had to go through is something that's almost impossible to explain. But Takano won. She gained allies, drove away enemies, gained supporters, and had people recognize her existence. She had spent much time gaining the trust of those elders, and finally became who she is today. That's why for her to be here today is a success in itself. Now she has a powerful backing, and she is ready to complete her grandfather's research. Well, now that you're officially continuing Takano-kun's research, there's something I need to tell you, Mio-chan. What is it? The old man pauses and pulls an expensive cigarette from the cigarette holder on the table. Takano lights it up for him. Takano doesn't smoke. She knows the old man smokes, and that's why she has a lighter in her pocket. Smart. Such little things have added up for her to gain trust. Takano-kun noticed the Hinamizawa syndrome in Manchuria, not Japan. Yes, according to his journal, starting around the 15th year of the Showa, soldiers from Hinamizawa sent to the Kwantung army came down with terminal phase symptoms. Then he predicted the existence of an unknown parasites in Hinamizawa. During the war, people sometimes went crazy. Well, duh, it's war! Those Hinamizawan soldiers who were sent to faraway battlefields were forced to spend days under extreme tension, and they came down with terminal phase symptoms which led to them to go deranged. But that was in the middle of the battlefield. Nobody suspected that anything was behind that. It's the book! Again! It's always this fucking book! At the time, Takano-kun was working as a military physician in the Kwantung Army. He was researching the prevention of different infectious diseases. And one day he noticed that some derangement incidents were occurring among the people from the same hometown. He suspected the symptoms were only with people from Hinamizawa, and started to research it. Then, he gathered soldiers from Hinamizawa and the research center as workers and studied them. He found out about the curse of Oyashiro-sama and confirmed the existence of parasites with strange characteristics. Some may wonder how he could be so sure that the symptoms were caused by parasites. In the beginning of the 20th century, it was proven that some unknown diseases were caused by bacteria and parasites by German doctors. It wasn't jumping to conclusions by saying that there's some kind of unknown pathogen behind unknown diseases. Now, for instance, we now know that beriberi is caused by lack of vitamin B1, but in the early 20th century, it was considered to be caused by an unknown pathogen. Yes, my grandfather predicted that the research would be valuable to the army, so he asked for a budget, but they just laughed at him. Her grandfather was a very talented and passionate researcher, but he didn't know how to appeal to others. The Hinamizawa Syndrome. The possibility of an existence that lives in the human brain and controls emotions. Although he noticed something nobody else noticed before, her grandfather never even had a chance to appeal his great work to anybody. Well, what exactly do you expect? I mean, actually, you know what? Shit, I'm actually trying to think in the perspective of the people that he was trying to tell this to, you know? If he was going on about the whole parasites mentally controlling people, yeah, that might not have actually gone over very well now that I think about it. But I'm just, trying to think about it from their perspective. Not only that, he couldn't even find any supporters. Without being evaluated fairly for what he had done, his life ended. Independent research has its limits. Talented people, funds, backup. A research project can be successful only if all of that is there. Takano noticed his mistake, and that's why she did everything she could to get all of that. At the time, the military authorities expected something that would be cheap and to work immediately. Although Takano-kun's research was interesting, it wasn't needed in the military. But I heard you were the only one who understood my grandfather's research, right? In his journal, he calls you his best friend. We came from the same hometown. It was a miracle to run into someone from the same town on the distant battlefield. Although we weren't close in age, we became very good friends. So we talked a lot. He told me that this would be a revolutionary research project, and he asked me to make arrangements for funding many times. I read in his journal that you talked to many different people about the research. Unfortunately, his research was never recognized, but I'm sure your support meant a lot to him. But I couldn't do anything for him. That's why I want to help you, Miyo-chan. To help you is like atoning for my mistakes. Thank you very much. He was lucky to have you as his best friend. It's too bad that people like you weren't in the high places in the military. Because if they were, then his life wouldn't have been like that. The old man closes his eyes and pauses. Then he looks far away and speaks. But that isn't the truth. People in the higher places were interested in Takano-kun's discovery. What? That's news to me. Then why didn't they recognize his research? Something came up, and they couldn't let him research the Hinamizawa Syndrome. Only a few of the top brass and I know about this. Everyone else is already dead, so I'm the only one who knows about it now. Since you're continuing the research, I need to tell you about it, Miyo-chan. What came up? What was it? Takano believed until this day that her grandfather's research was ridiculed by everyone, and that was the reason why it was never recognized. The grandfather asked her grandfather asked the military for funds so he could reveal the secret of the Hinamizawa Syndrome during the war. But, just like the old man had said earlier, the military wanted something that worked immediately. That was why they weren't interested in his research. That's what she believed. But the military was actually interested. Now, by the way, I'm slightly dying. Before I go on, I need to explain about the Kwantung Army in Manchuria at the time. The Kwantung Army was in Manchuria, but people disagreed whether to go up north or down south. At the time, Japan had troops in Manchuria, but they couldn't agree whether to go north to contain the Soviet Union or to go south to expand the territory to secure resources. Because of its location, the Soviet Union had always wanted an ice-free port. So they wanted to expand their territory southward. That resulted in the Russo-Japanese War. Japan won the Russo-Japanese War in the history books. There we go. But it was actually a concluded peace due to the Portsmouth Treaty. Both sides simply got exhausted and decided to stop fighting. Russia didn't give up and surrender completely. So, Russia will always be thought about as a menace. Later, the Russian imperial government fell into revolution, but Japan still couldn't discount the new Russia's threat to move down south. According to the history books, Japan went south. They signed a non-aggression pact and abandoned the north. As a result, the Soviet army concentrated on the far eastern force. The German army came close to Moscow, but they counterattacked them and reversed the tide of the war. The non-aggression pact didn't guarantee that Japan wouldn't attack them. That was why they couldn't fully concentrate on the battle against Germany, since the Soviet Union had to divide their forces in far eastern areas. My god, I'm getting a hell of a history lesson here. Germany and the Soviet Union had agreed on a non-aggression pact, yet Germany attacked the Soviet Union. Furthermore, Japan and Germany concluded a military alliance. With that in mind, it is understandable that the Soviet Union couldn't trust Japan even with the non-aggression pact. Ironically, the Soviet Union was the one who broke the pact, but I won't go into that now. That's exactly... Wait, I have no idea who the hell is talking. That's exactly right. I'm gonna assume it's, old man. Hitler agreed to the Triple Alliance, expecting Japan to contain the other side of the Soviet Union, but Japan abandoned the North. Because the German attack was so strong, they agreed on keeping their eyes on them. Even if they were to head north, that was only because they assumed Germany would take Moscow. However, the plan was exposed and the Soviet army sent all of the heavy tanks to far eastern borders. Then, Germany was defeated in the battle for Moscow, and after the Battle of Kursk, Germany was defeated completely. It was a turning point in history, huh? During the Cold War, the Soviet Union was recognized as a powerful country, but at least in the 15th year of the Showa era, the Kwantung Army didn't think it was. Japan won the Russo-Japanese War, and just assumed the new Soviet Union government wasn't steady enough. That underestimation was corrected in the Nomanon incident in the 16th year of the Showa era. Nomanon. Although it was a short period of time, Japan's Kwantung Army fought with the high-tech Soviet Army. Japan realized they shouldn't fight with them, and started to lean toward the non-aggression pact between the two countries. But, at least until the Nomanon incident, the Kwantung Army was aware of the Soviet Army, and the indecision about North and South divided the army. Therefore, in order to conserve strength for the possible upcoming war with the Soviet Union, there were certainly voices that opposed an all-out war with the Chinese. But it turned into the Sino-Japanese War after the Roku Bridge accident, right? The Roku Bridge. July of the 12th year of the Showa era. The Japanese and Chinese armies were staring at each other in the Roku Bridge, Peking. Peking? It was the middle of the night on July 7th. The Chinese army attacked the Japanese army in training, and they entered a state of war. This triggered the long Sino-Japanese War. Or is it Sino? According to the records, that incident triggered the Sino-Japanese War, but at the time, the Japanese army was also arguing about whether to fight against the Chinese or not. Actually, the general headquarters gave an order to settle things quietly. The North faction claimed there was no point on fighting with the Chinese, and wanted to settle things quietly. However, the South faction decided to dispatch more troops to China. They came up with the belligerent plan against China and Japan, and China started an all-out war. After that, Japan changed the strategy in the war against the Soviet Union. Japan signed the Non-Aggression Pact with the Soviet Union and decided to go south. The Sino-Japanese War got worse and worse. If the Roko Bridge incident hadn't taken place, there's a possibility that history would have been very different. But maybe we ended up fighting in a war anyway. However, if the South faction didn't get that chance, the military authorities would have kept restraining the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union would have had to divide their forces to the east and west. And maybe Germany could have invaded Moscow. Then Japan could have gone to Siberia. The map could have been very different today. Germany wouldn't necessarily have won the war if it had succeeded in taking Moscow, because England was keeping its strength on the other side of the Channel, and the United States was poised to start a war. Napoleon once invaded Moscow, but he evacuated because of the cold winter.
It's too cold! Oh, gosh!
It is one of those ifs, huh? The Axis would have won the war. And the anime. What? There's a possibility that a gunshot from the Roko Bridge incident changed the history of the world. Both sides have different opinions of who fired the shot, right?
Oh, wait a minute! No, it's me, I'm talking! Fuck!
Both sides had different opinions of who fired the shot, right? According to the Japanese side, a Chinese soldier fired a shot at a Japanese soldier because he was too close to the Chinese camp. However, the Chinese side claimed the shot was a conspiracy of the Japanese military. But the shot was fired, even though nobody knew who actually fired the shot to trigger the Sino-Japanese War. That's what the history books say. But, Sensei, what does that have to do with my grandfather?
Yes, finally, explain!
In the Roko Bridge incident, a shot was fired at a unit that was training in the middle of the night. Everyone was called for a roll call. They were missing one soldier. This soldier came back later, and it was said that he was sent as a messenger and got close to the Chinese camp. Anyway, this soldier was from Hinamizawa. Eh? Really? Oh. When Takano-kun was talking about the Hinamizawa syndrome, he said soldiers from Hinamizawa could suddenly fall into a deranged state. And we realized that the soldier from the Roko incident bridge was in fact from Hinamizawa. Then, what about the Roko Bridge incident? I don't know the truth! But there is a possibility that a soldier with the terminal phase symptoms of the Hinamizawa syndrome fired the shot. That soldier was killed in the incident. There was no record of it. Nobody knows exactly how he died. The Japanese side claimed to negotiate with the fact that the Chinese army fired at them. A few days after the incident, Japan requested an apology from the Chinese side, and as an industrial action, it decided to increase divisions. The Chinese side opposed, and the situation got worse all of a sudden. If the research of the Hinamizawa syndrome continued, people thought it would influence what the Japanese are claiming in a negative way. They didn't want to step into a political gray area, so they rejected Takano-kun's research. So that was why my grandfather's research wasn't recognized even after the war? Okay. That's right. The war's over, but there are still some conflicts there regarding the historical recognition. Even if Takano-kun didn't mean for it, if the research of the Hinamizawa syndrome came out to the public, it would have brought back the subject of the war, which was already over. Some authorities were afraid of that, so they made sure his research was ignored even after the war. I was also told not to help him in any way. Ouch. Takano tries to be calm, but she can't stop herself from grimacing. She just found out the reason why nobody showed interest in her grandfather's research. It was because of the secret maneuvers of the masterminds. For the masterminds to be so fearful, they must have acknowledged the importance of the research. She lamented her grandfather's lonely life. However, they are all dead now. I'm the only one who knows about it. If Takano-kun was still alive, I was going to apologize to him and support him completely. But he is no longer here. That's why I'm apologizing to you and offering to give you my full support. Are you sure? Would my research on the Hinamizawa syndrome bring up the subject again? It's different now. Besides, the Hinamizawa syndrome isn't just a local disease. Depending on the outcome, it may even make post-war Japan one of the great powers. The wind direction has changed, huh? That's right. Unfortunately, Takano-kun didn't live long enough to see the change in the wind direction. But he has you to continue his research. So, as long as I'm alive, I'll give you my full support. I promised to help Takano-kun, but because of various things, I couldn't do anything. So I want to make up for that, as long as I'm alive. I think that's the least I can do for the man who called me his best friend. Sensei, thank you so much. Don't mention it. I'm glad I was able to tell you everything before I died. Anyway, until I'm dead, I'll make sure you get everything you need, okay? So if there's anything you need, be sure to let me know. I'll do anything for you. Takano can't even imagine what kind of bond this old man and her grandfather had between them. But thanks to that bond, Takano was able to gain a strong supporter. Takano becomes emotional, but she feels like dancing inside because she's excited to hear about the full support from this old man. The old man and Takano both bow at the same time to show each other's appreciation. Once that's done, the old man becomes a little more serious. He starts to say what he wanted to say in the first place. That's right. This is what I wanted to say. The Hinamizawa syndrome has the power to write history. It may even change the fate of the country. So please remember that, and research very carefully. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to become God eventually, so don't worry about that. It'll be all good. All cheesy pie. Why specifically cheesy pie? Don't question me. When the owner finishes serving food, she bows and leaves. The room is very tastefully done. It reminds them of a tea ceremony room. It's not decorated much, but obviously quite a bit of money has gone into this room. This is a very famous Japanese restaurant where many important people and high officials hold secret meetings. Takano is here, accompanied by about 5 gentlemen. Takano is sitting slightly further away from the men. Obviously, those men are in a much higher position than Takano. One of the men is wearing an expensive double-breasted suit. He tells Takano not to be nervous. Double-breasted? Please, relax, Takano-san. What we read is very interesting. I can't believe this research was just sitting there for dozens of years. It is surprising. I thought that all the research projects on BC weapons funded by the old Japanese military during the war were basically all failures, and that everything was confiscated by the US military. This research wasn't even taken seriously by the top brass of the military. I see. So that's what I know about. I see, so that's why I know about it, and GHQ didn't investigate it. In a way, that was lucky. How interesting that you are succeeding the research of Dr. Takano. Takano-san. It's like the deceased is using your body to complete his research. Maybe that's true. I feel a mysterious connection, too. Takano calls Takano Hifumi her grandfather, but she hasn't really explained the truth to anyone. That's because she was afraid that people might feel that there were personal feelings involved in her continuing Takano's research. She tells people she used to know Takano Hifumi, and after his death, she found some data from the research and decided to continue it. Well then, what do you think?
The defense agency was very interested. According to Nagagawa-kun, the research headquarters of the defense agency showed a strong interest and decided to sponsor you.
Oh, that's great!
Oh, that's great! Congratulations, Takano-san!
Thank you very much.
They say there's a Reason Society for the Deterrence of Weapons for the Next Generation, organized by some experts among the ministries and government offices. The Alphabet Project is one of them. Have you heard of them, Takano-san?
There's no way she would know something like that. But it is very possible for those nationalists to research something dangerous without citizens knowing about it. The society is like a net made of connections between people. People hold hands of other people who share the same ideas and end up knitting a net. Of course, some nets are well known, but there are some secret ones too. There's no way of guessing how the men at this meeting are connected. A research society for the deterrence of weapons for the next generation. The Alphabet Project. With those words, it is possible to imagine what it is. Deterrence of weapons. That usually means nuclear weapons. Weapons are usually used to destroy the enemy. However, the general idea of the deterrence of weapons is very different. Its assumption is not to use the weapons against the enemy. Nuclear weapons can be used as a threat to prevent an enemy invasion. The United States and the Soviet Union both have nuclear weapons, and they are trying to restrain each other with them. But they will never use them. Because if they did, there would be a nuclear war and both countries would be destroyed. Then why do we even have the fucking weapons? So it is, like a last resort. Of course, this last resort works because both sides have it. If only one had it, then there would be no point in negotiating. In other words, countries without nuclear weapons are powerless. Japan is an established country without nuclear weapons. However, that really isn't the total truth. Japan has abandoned nuclear weapons, but it allied with the United States, the country with nuclear weapons. In other words, Japan is established because of the United States' nuclear weapons. But that means Japan has to depend on the United States forever. To get rid of that position and to become an equally powerful country, Japan has to step out of the United States' shadow. It has to own nuclear weapons. It must be a society organized by experts who believe in that ideal. The name Alphabet Project even makes sense now. Nuclear weapons are weapons of mass destruction. Yep. However, weapons of mass destruction aren't always nuclear weapons. They also include biological weapons and chemical weapons. Atomic, biological, chemical. The initials of the three words make up ABC. Oh my god, that's why it's called the Alphabet Project. Okay, that's clever. That's why sometimes weapons of mass destruction are called ABC weapons. Oh. I won't go into the other weapons of mass destruction that don't belong to those three categories. I'm glad that Ryukishi kind of just slips in here every now and then. ABC. Alphabet. In other words, this Alphabet Project must be a secret language for research into weapons of mass destruction. Well, the secret's out, people. Takano's guess is right.
In all fairness, Japan should own nuclear weapons. After the war, we became a peace-loving nation and contributed internationally. It will become a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. We won't be recognized as one independent nation unless we are armed with nuclear weapons. That has been the long-cherished wish of this post-war Japan. Exactly. However, realistically, because of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, only major countries own nuclear weapons. Also, our citizens wouldn't dare let Japan own nuclear weapons. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go absolutely ham with the voices on this, because I don't know who the hell's talking. Biological and chemical weapons are also known as nuclear weapons for the poor. Small countries that can't own nuclear weapons have already started the research. Takano-san, please don't misunderstand this, okay? The purpose of the research isn't to obtain biological weapons. Instead, the goal is to prevent such weapons from coming into Japan from other countries. That's right, Oishi's in there! So this is a research for self-defense. I want you to understand that.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Takano usually doesn't like such means, but she doesn't show it. No matter what they say, she already knows they realize the value of research on biological weapons. However, that isn't the truth either. If they were to research biological weapons, it would be a lot quicker to research diseases like smallpox and Bacillus anthracis than an unknown disease like the Hinamizawa syndrome. Therefore, what they said about the defense agency being interested in the biological weapons is not the truth. There's a lot of not truths being thrown out here. For Takano to conduct this research, she needs funding, a staff, and a facility. I'm having a freaking Shatner moment. she needs a powerful sponsor. She used her connections to get in touch with the political elder, and he made arrangements to pull some funding from the defense agency using the diversion of biological weapons as an excuse. That is the truth.
Finally, we know the truth!
Therefore, this isn't officially recognized by the defense agency. To be exact, the masterminds who control the defense agency recognize it. The masterminds deliver funding from the defense agency to the Alphabet Project, and the masterminds recommended Takano's research. Takano gets the money she needs, and the masterminds get rebates. With that in mind, it is rather suspicious that this project is actually honest research into the deterrence of weapons for the next generation. Maybe it is just a tunnel project for the masterminds to make money out of. However, that doesn't matter to Takano. She doesn't care about the expectations of the masterminds and elders. As long as she gets the money, she's happy to let them do whatever. Either way, Takano found a sponsor. It is one of the biggest organizations around, too. It was the dream of her grandfather. She tries to stay calm, but she is about to jump up and down in excitement. Let's see, who should I go with this time?
Nakagawa-kun says that once the research gets underway, he doesn't mind buying it out. Although it is still an incomplete research, he definitely sees potential in it. You're absolutely right. This research is only halfway done. I need a lot more funding, a better facility, and better staff.
So here comes the condition. They want to keep this whole research to themselves. And, I hate to tell you this, but they think you shouldn't be responsible for it. Shut up, Hideyoshi.
Takano's ecstasy is interrupted there.
This research isn't for me to make money. I am working as a researcher out of my intellectual curiosity. What I need is a sponsor, and I give the result back to my sponsor. That's what I was thinking.
She realizes she was talking rather emotionally, so she tries to calm herself down. It says assistance is in research. To them, Takano seems too young to be able to come up with a result that's worth the money they will be spending.
I know. You've been working on this research for a long time, and you don't want anyone to just grab it from you, right? I totally understand that. Of course, I already told them that. So, here's an idea we came up with.
We'll start with a new project within the Alphabet Project, which is your research. As long as the board of directors recognizes it, you'll get funding. You'll be a guest researcher and participate in the project.
If she wants the money, she has to do what they tell her to do. So far, she has no objection. Let's see. The Research Society has made some demands. One is to find a talented and experienced person to lead the research.
I hate this.
Wait, I hate to say this, but who would be more knowledgeable I'm sorry.
I hate to say this, but who would be more knowledgeable about this research than me? Other than the late Dr. Takano, of course.
Well, please, calm down, Takano-san. I totally understand what you're thinking.
But that would be the same as selling my research to whoever this person is. That's absurd.
Calm down, Takano-san!
The men notice Takano's anger. They laugh as if to tell her how immature she is for not being able to control her emotions. However, they don't laugh to look down on Takano. On the contrary, they are trying to tell her to wait until the end.
Of course. We'll make sure you get your way. Koizumi-sensei told me to take good care of you. Do you think I would ignore you after that? Don't worry. Please, let me work things out. I'll make sure you'll be happy.
What do you mean?
I get to select the leading party.
That was a rather terrible laugh, actually.
Everyone laughs hard except Takano. Then she joins in. He means he'll find just the right person. The defense agency suggested finding an expert as a leader because they didn't feel comfortable with just Takano. However, Takano's sponsor is the one to find the person. Takano realizes how wonderful it is to have powerful backing.
Let me work it out for you. I'll find some candidates for you. All you have to do is pick the one you think would be the perfect candidate.
She feels better now. She won't be the official leading person of the research, but in reality, she will be leading it. Of course, she isn't an expert. It'll be beneficial for her to have a partner. Give me some time to talk to the other end. I'll make sure you'll be happy with the outcome. Please, just wait patiently.
I understand.
I'm sorry. God, what is with me getting the right... Ah!
Why can't there be a name or a color? I hate that.
I understand. Thank you for everything.
Oh, by the way, it's not just the defense agency. Nagata-kun from the Ministry of Health and Welfare is willing to help you too. He introduced me to Ito-kun from the National Infectious Disease Control Center. He's willing to help you with equipment and technology.
Really? Oh, thank you so much.
This is a national project, isn't it? Congratulations, Takano-san. This is all because of your efforts and the deceased Dr. Takano's hard work.
Oh no, this is all because of Dr. Takano's hard work. I haven't done anything yet.
Being humble is a good... Oh god, I'm slightly dying again. Being humble is a good virtue. Just like Koizumi-sensei told me, you are truly a nice person, aren't you?
Oh god, I combined Lord and Hideyoshi there for a second.
Lord Hideyoshi. No wonder he adores you.
Anyway, they want you to join the agency. Luckily, you have a doctor's license, right? You'll be a medical officer of the research headquarters.
Do you mean I will be a government worker? I didn't expect that.
All the organizations that are involved with the Alphabet projects are public institutions.
Actually, you know what? Let's go with Leo. The Self-Defense Force is actually interested in this research as well, and they are offering to send some Self-Defense Force personnel too. So, your position may be treated as a Self-Defense Force position.
Well, just think of it as a government officials fighting over territory. To be above those government officials, you need your government position. No matter what, we'll make sure you'll be happy. So please don't worry about anything.
I understand. I'll let you work things out. But knowing Dr. Takano's research was once rejected by the old Japanese military, it's hard to believe that the Self-Defense Force is interested in it now.
Well, I don't know what to say. At the time, the Japanese military wanted something that worked immediately to remedy the situation. I don't think they looked down on Dr. Takano's research.
That's not true. Takano already knows about the truth.
Oh.
Takano exhales. To her, it feels like this meeting in front of her is happening somewhere far away. She has worked so hard for this day to happen. Finally, her grandfather and his research getting recognition. This is what she has been dreaming about. So, it's scary to even think that this may be just a dream. True joy can't be felt all at once. Oftentimes, it's a delayed reaction. Takano thinks this is exactly what that means. I think
you'll probably be in a commanding position. So you'll be an executive officer. Probably a major.
That's wonderful. Major Takano, huh? Oh boy, I'm envious. As a man, I wish I had a rank. Oh wait a minute. I'm a woman. Whoops!
Ah! Damn, that's wonderful. Major Takano, huh? Oh boy, I'm envious. As a man, I wish I had a rank like that. Oh boy, Major Takano, huh?
A major? What is that?
It's the rank system of the Self-Defense Force. It's like a sub-manager of a company, I guess. That'll be your rank once the project gets underway.
It's equivalent to a lieutenant commander in the old Japanese military. What a coincidence! Dr. Takano was a lieutenant commander in the old military.
She remembers suddenly. That's right. Her grandfather was a lieutenant commander in the Japanese military. Everything she has done until today was so she could succeed her grandfather's research. Now everything is set. And the rank she will get is the same rank as her grandfather's. She always believed that succeeding his research was a bond tighter than blood. and now the rank she will get is the same as her grandfather's. This is fate. Is this a message from her grandfather? It must be a shout of encouragement from her grandfather in heaven. It's the proof that not only the research, but his thoughts are hers as well. Takano can't help feeling a sense of fate for being ranked a major. Grandpa, I'm finally here.
Nobody could hear her say that, but her grandfather in heaven could. She believed that. It has only come so far. There are still a lot of things to do for this research to be recognized as a great work.
Otherwise, her grandfather won't become a god. She can't become a god either. You must become a god. That was in grandfather's will. I wasn't able to do so. That line preceded it. That's her grandfather's dying wish. Her grandfather entrusted it with her. He entrusted his research with her. A god can't be resurrected by reviving a body. A god is made in the hearts of people who are still alive. Her grandfather will stay in her heart, and his great work will be known, and all the scholars will read his articles. They'll fight for it. They will learn about Takano Hifumi, who started his research during the war. They will know that nobody understood him, and that he ended up devoting his lonely life to his research. Then they'll praise his great work. Damn. I never thought that I'd be learning this much. No tips! This is getting... Where's my tips? People! Where? Where tips? This is all kinds of wrong. I don't have my tips. Damn it. Okay. Calm down. Okay. First mistake. Because it's been a while since I did Higurashi. Actually, it wasn't really that long ago, but my first mistake. I forgot to brew myself some tea. Okay, I'll do that next time. So did anybody else get creeped out by the Sobanyu staring deeply into your souls? Oh well, I hope not. Or if so...
Good.
Anyway, guys, I'm happy. I'm actually happy that I'm getting even more of a glimpse into Takano's backstory, her motivations, and... Damn it, Ryukishi, with all these goddamn onions you're cutting, it's just... You know what? This is Ryukishi. I can trust him to make a very good story and actually make all of the villains and any character really have depth to them. I can trust, that. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end it, with a little... Thank you all so much for watching. My throat is dry as all fuck, but I'm gonna go see you guys in the next video. Also, kind of, give me an opinion. Do you like this setup, or do you want me to change it? Also, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hello there, everybody. Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.